How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the markets are going bananas right now. S&P 500 is currently up 1.6%. Dow Jones is up 0.8%. The Nasdaq 100 is up 2.5%. And the Russell 2000 is up almost 1.7% with about 35 minutes left in the session. And today we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over 10 stocks to buy now. And I also want to share with you guys what I did in the stock market today and in general where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to also join the free Strive Smart Discord chat and Facebook group. Also, don't forget to get your 4 stocks from WeBull and your $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it. S&P 500 yet again hit an all-time high today. All-time high was hit at 3810.96, and you guys can see the uptrend that we've been talking about here on the 5-day 5-minute is continuously playing out. You guys remember in the previous couple of days, well, a couple days ago, S&P fell pretty drastically. We fell about 3% in that one day, dropped about 100 points, and ever since then, we've been talking about this little recovery that we've been seeing in the S&P, right? This little uptrend in the previous couple days. We hit that low, we hit a higher low the following day after that big 3% drop. We hit another higher low yesterday, and a higher high, continuing the uptrend, and that little pull down into the close yesterday, we talked about this in yesterday's video as well, that ended up being yet again another higher low, right? We held 37.45. I believe that was an old all-time high. Let me double check that for you guys. Yeah, it looks like it was, right? 37.45. We held that into the close yesterday, and yet again, we saw a big pop today. We gapped up from 37.45 to 37.65. We saw a big push from 37.65 up over 40 points to that all-time high, and we've been pretty much smooth sailing for the rest of the day. And again, we have about 30 minutes left in the session right now. And the truth is, based on this 5-day 5-minute chart, the bulls are not letting up. In fact, I think there's honestly some more left in the tank based on how strongly the bulls are holding 3,800 right now. And that's honestly what I'm looking for tomorrow. Are we going to break 3810? I mean, there at that point, we could see yet again another leg up, right? The markets have been very bullish, and the technicals really are pointing to more upside based on what we're seeing. And if we fail at 3810, let's say we end up closing on a downswing, maybe we gap down tomorrow morning pre-market, maybe we end up going down to 3780. That is where I think we could find support on the S&P, right around this 180 SMA on the 5-day 5-minute, and right around this old resistance from yesterday. I think that could be a decent pull down area. That's if we get rejected at 3810. So watch out for that, guys, here on the S&P. And that 2-hour chart we were talking about, the channel, we're pretty much at the resistance of that channel right now. So also be mindful of that, right? If we don't break out of this 3810, 3820, whatever, we could be seeing a sell-off from there. So be careful, guys. Markets are cruising, they're killing it, but we are approaching that overbought status. But then again, we could see a bit more upside if we do break that 5-day 5-minute resistance we were just talking about. So S&P is looking good, right? Dow Jones is also looking good despite it being the worst performing index of today, even though it's up 0.8%, which is great. We could see it also hit an all-time high. Hit an all-time high at 31,193, and it's also not letting up those gains. The bulls are maintaining yesterday's resistance as a new support today. That's very good news that the bulls want to take this thing higher and maybe even break out of 31,190 tomorrow, maybe into 31,200. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. As long as we're holding yesterday's resistance as a support. I think on the Dow, we could be heading higher. So watch out for that. And on this hourly chart, I mean, you could argue, yeah, it's a bit overbought. So if we do break 31,000, again, that resistance from yesterday, maybe we do see a bit of a drop, maybe to about 3,500, 30,500, right? Or maybe 30,600. I mean, that wouldn't be too out of the question. I think that could happen. But again, that's if we break 31,000. So watch out for that on the Dow Jones tomorrow, and honestly for next week as well. And the Nasdaq 100 is getting a big pop today, and that is because tech stocks are back. Apple is up almost 4%, and I'm kicking myself a little bit. Not really, honestly, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I actually sold Apple today. I day traded it, and I didn't squeeze out every last penny, but the truth is, guys, you can't do that, right? You can't squeeze every last penny of profit, but stay tuned for the trading portion of this video. We're going to talk more about that, but yeah, we're seeing the Nasdaq is crushing it. Apple's up, Facebook's up, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, they're all up today. And a lot of the tech stocks in general, excuse me, guys, are up today. And obviously, that's pushing up the Nasdaq 100. We actually hit an all-time high. We're a little bit shy from that 13,000 milestone, but we're right at 12,950, which honestly, guys, that's pretty dang good. Considering back in March, April, you guys can see it here, we were trading a lot lower. I mean, a lot lower. Under 7,000. So, yeah, I mean, 6,700 was the low. Now we're up almost a double up from that point. And yeah, 13,000 is that milestone, and I'll be watching it for tomorrow, maybe even these next couple of days. And another thing worth noting is we broke out of the head and shoulder that was almost forming. That's actually one thing worth noting here. Take a look here on this hourly chart on the Nasdaq 100, left shoulder, head, and this could have been the right shoulder if the Nasdaq 100 were to dump here. If it were to get rejected at that neckline at 12,800, that would have been the right shoulder. But the fact that it didn't, that means we are breaking out. And again, we could be going 13,000 plus here on the Nasdaq 100. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I would love to know, as always, are you bullish in the market right now? Are you bearish? Obviously, there's a lot going on in Washington. I don't want to get into that in this video, but what I am going to talk about is what I personally did in the markets today, which you guys heard earlier. Apple is something that I did trade today, but before that, I actually got into NEO. And if you guys are not in the Discord chat, again, join that. And by no means is it a call-out service. That's not what I do. I'm not some kind of guy that rallies up his troops and then he's pumping some penny stock. No, I mean, that's not me. But I do call out from time to time. I try to, at least, my positions beforehand, right? And I said pre-market, I was buying into NEO. I bought some NEO at what? $52.95. I'm checking my notes here. Yup, $52.95 is where I got in, and it was pretty much right before the bell. I mean, you guys can see here it was trading just under 53 about 5-10 minutes before the market opened, and that's when I got in, right? So I got in $52.95, and I pretty much rode the gravy train all the way up to me filming this video. I literally sold about 30 minutes ago at $54.15. So I didn't cut it right at the peak. You guys can see the peak was at $54.60, but I'm pretty dang happy for that move today. Again, from $52.95 up to about $54.15. That was a move of, it was close to, I think, like 3-ish%. Actually, a little bit under that, about 2.5%. Quick little day trade there. And honestly, guys, I think there's more upside with NEO. I mean, we're seeing a lot of pent up, I don't want to say pent up demand, but we're testing and retesting this 54-55 level, and we're squeezing our way into that point, and we're also making higher lows into that resistance. So you could argue this is an ascending triangle that wants to explode again, hence that pent up kind of demand. It's not really the right word, but you guys get the point, to the point where I think it could explode out of there. So I'm watching NIO very closely tomorrow, potentially for another day trade, but at this point, I'm out of NIO, right? I ended up, again, getting in and out of it today, and I also did this, and mind you guys, NIO is having NIO Day on the 9th in 2 days, which there's a lot of hype behind, which is why the stock went up 7% today. It's currently up about 7%. And on top of that NIO move, I also traded Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. I bought this one earlier in the day at about $128.50. It was actually on this dip. It was actually earlier in the day at about, again, $128.50, right around this point in time. I saw it beaten down, and again, we mentioned yesterday how this has tested the 126, 127 level multiple times in the previous couple of days. On the 4th, on the 6th, which was yesterday, we double bottomed there, and I saw it recovering from that low point yesterday in today's pre-market session. We were climbing 127.50, 128, and then we pulled down a bit in the market open, once the market opened, and we started spiking up from there. And again, that is where I got in, 128.50. And again, I cover this in the Discord chat. I talk about what I'm getting in for the most part, and I ended up selling out at 130.46, $130.46. Same with NIO right before I filmed this video, and now Apple is up almost a whole dollar from where I sold, but it's okay, guys. That is the name of the game. Unfortunately, I know it sucks. Unfortunately, you can't grab every single penny of profit. You got to get your portion of the move, whether that is 5% of the 10% move, whether that's maybe 9%. Let's say you get lucky one day and you grab almost the whole move. You just got to grab some of the move. That is the name of the game. So I'm in NIO, or not in NIO. I day traded NIO, day traded Apple. I'm still in Workhorse, which we'll talk about here in a couple minutes at $22. Workhorse crushed it. And SLV is also one that I'm still in, which is a silver ETF. This one is kind of coasting, not doing much today. In fact, it's down about 0.3%. I'm okay with that. And those are my two holdings at this point, Workhorse and SLV. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. What did you do today? I'd love to know. Are you buying stocks, selling? Are you in cash? Are you 50% cash, 100% cash? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys are enjoying the video, make sure to hit the like button. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video. And also, get yourself 4 stocks from WeBull, $30 from M1 Finance. What are you waiting for? If you haven't done that already, check out the links right down below. So, stock number 1, which I just touched on literally 30 seconds ago, is Workhorse. I want to dive a little bit deeper into this. I've been thinking to myself, and you guys would probably agree with this, a lot of people, most people, are looking at Workhorse as a USPS contract-dependent company. And the truth is, guys, a lot of the momentum is relying on the USPS contract, but people forget that this company could get demand from other companies other than the USPS. And I actually forgot to mention this when this news actually came out. A couple days ago, Workhorse received a purchase order from Pride Group Enterprises for 6,320 C-Series all-electric delivery vehicles. Pride Group, and if you guys don't know, I didn't know who Pride Group was, but they're actually a premier Canadian and U.S.-based privately held company with businesses in transportation equipment retail, wholesale, rental, leasing, and logistics. So this seems like a pretty legitimate company, and the initial delivery of these vehicles, they're not going to start for a little bit here. It's actually going to begin in July of 2021. So what? A year and a half away from now. And those deliveries will run through 2026. And I forget exactly, but they're going to do this in increments. You know, like 500 one year, 500 the next, and so forth. Again, those aren't the exact numbers, but they're going to be delivering these in increments, right? And those are going to be delivered through 2026. The delivered vehicles will be distributed through Pride dealerships for fleet use. So what this tells me is, yeah, Workhorse has other arms to its business where it's not only relying on the USPS contract. This is actually very good news for me as a Workhorse holder holding their shares and as somebody that believes in this company, because the truth is, if the USPS contract goes bust, well, this company needs to have other places to deliver vehicles to, right? And this is a good sign that we got a big order from Pride, and hopefully other big companies, whether they're private or public, whatever, they put in big purchase orders as well to get the ball rolling. So if the USPS does not pick Workhorse, or maybe they get a smaller chunk of the contract than expected, it's not going to hurt them that much, because one thing that will hurt them is if they're all in on the USPS contract, if that's their only key business source and then they don't get it, that's going to be a big blow, right? So watch out for Workhorse. I think it's pretty promising here, up 16%. And a lot of you probably think, oh, I missed the move. And honestly, I'll be honest, guys, I don't like sugarcoating it. You probably missed the move, honestly. $24, $25, $22 where I'm in. That was probably the best time to get in. At this point, I would not chase it, but I would be watching it heavily if it were to get down to, let's say, $25, $24, to maybe test this old resistance from back in the end of December, possibly as a new support, right? If it were to hold 25 at that point in time, one could argue that it could make a move back up to $28 and maybe even to $30, $31 to break those highs. And from $25 to $30, $32, that could be a move of over 20%. So I wouldn't chase Workhorse right now necessarily, but you guys got to watch it. There's a lot of momentum, no doubt about it. And another one here is RMO, also known as Romeo Power. And for those of you guys that don't know, some of you probably don't know what RMO is here. They're actually an energy technology company focusing on designing and manufacturing lithium-ion battery modules and packs for commercial electric vehicles. They actually enable sustainable transportation by delivering batteries with shorter charge times. And this is actually a company, you guys can see the stock here, it's been cut in half from almost $40 a share all the way down to where it is now at $20.70. And I mean, I've covered this stock in previous videos, and I've told you guys, watch it. If it holds this 180 SMA, and you guys can see this little circle that I drew a couple of videos ago, if it holds this level, if we see some consolidation, that could be a sign that it is bottoming out, at least in the short term, and maybe we can get in on the momentum back upwards. And now that a couple of days have passed since I made that initial video, or I talked about RMO in the video a couple days ago, we can see we have gotten that consolidation. We bottomed there, not saying it is the bottom, but we're seeing some support at a potential bottom at 1820 starting from the 4th of January. We held it there one day. The day after that, we also held it, and yesterday we held it, and today we held it $20 as support. And you guys can see it here even better on the 5-day, 5-minute, how strongly we've been holding 18, 19, 20 these past couple of days. But all I'm waiting for now is the breakout, right? I want to see RMO break out probably over $21, $22. I think that is where we could see the start of that momentum shift from the downtrend consolidation back up to the bullish momentum, right? So watch out for RMO. It's a good sign that we are seeing consolidation here on the 180 SMA 4-hour chart. but we haven't quite yet broken out. But I will be ready, and I'm sure some of you guys will be as well. We'll be ready when it does, if it does, decide to break out. So stock number 3 is Papa John's International, the good old delicious Papa John's pizza, ticker symbol PZZA. And honestly, guys, this is one that I haven't been tracking the past couple of weeks, and I'm kind of mad because if I saw this, let's say a week and a half ago, I would have been able to spot this inverse head and shoulder like that, right, very quickly. And you guys can see it right here. Take a look at the inverse head and shoulder. Let me get my handy dandy circle tool out. What you guys can see right here, let me just remove that and redraw it. You guys can see left shoulder there, the head right here, and what you guys see forming right here at around the neckline is the right shoulder, right around $83, $84. And now we popped out of that right shoulder and we're trying to complete the right shoulder. And you guys can see we popped from 84 all the way up to 94. So you can argue the move is mostly made here. And I would agree with you, it is mostly made, but there's honestly a little bit more upside. You could also argue that, hey, maybe Papa John's goes back to $100, maybe $99, $98, $102, $103, right around there, which would be the completion, the full-on completion of the right shoulder in this inverse head and shoulder. So even though it's overbought on the RSI, we've made a pretty decent move. I think there could still be some upside. And if this does pull down, let's say maybe down to the low 90s, 90, 91, that could also be a dip buy in this momentum upwards to, again, $98, $99, $100. So Papa John's is definitely worth watching. NNDM, good old Nano Dimension, is also worth watching, up over 14% today. Unbelievable day. You guys can see here, we're in this wedge. We're in this interesting pattern here where we're going to end up picking direction. It's either going to be on the upside here, which would be bullish. If NNDM were to break, let's say, 950, where it did struggle earlier in the day, which is a big resistance from today in general. If it were to break that, I could see it get maybe back to $10, which is a resistance from back on the 31st of December, right around $10, which could be from, let's say, 930, 950, where it is right now, up to $10. That could be a move of, let's say, almost 6 to 8%. And if $10 breaks, we could be going $10.50, which would be even bigger of a move, upwards to, let's say, 12 to 13% from where the stock is currently trading right now. So I'm watching this closely on the hourly chart. If it breaks, we'll probably be going long NNDM, but if we see resistance here, maybe a gap down, look for it to test probably low 8s again, maybe 820, 850, right around the support of this little wedge. That could be where we're going, but at this point, it's worth watching on either the breakout or even on the drop. We could end up playing a little short play, a put option even. But with NNDM, honestly, guys, I would not want to short this thing or play put options. I'd rather just wait for the breakout and go long, right? So that's NNDM. So the next one here is ticker symbol JMIA, Jumia Technologies, which is beaten down pretty aggressively. It's been beaten down over these past couple of days. Well, really ever since the middle towards the end of December, from $50 all the way to where it is right now, just a little bit under $40 at $38. And honestly, guys, if you look on this 4-hour chart, what we are seeing here is consolidation and a pop over that 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. That's a very good sign that JMIA wants to recover here at a higher low based on the previous low from $26. So we can see JMIA is overall still holding the uptrend, but we are about to face a pretty big resistance. That resistance being right at this point on the hourly chart, right? We're at a potential lower high here based on the previous lower high, where if we were to get rejected, right, we could be pushing for a lower low, which is something that we wouldn't want to be trapped in. This could be a bull trap, right? But I think if we break out of $40, we break this downtrend on the hourly chart, and you can see it on the 4-hour chart as well, right around this 50 SMA. I think if that could break 40, 42, we're probably going to be going up mid-40s, maybe even back to that high. I think, honestly, that is where we will see some momentum, so watch out for that break on JMIA. And another one here is AMD. Remember, we actually called this out on Twitter a couple days ago. Follow me there at StasserFest. And Instagram, don't forget to follow me there at StasserFest as well. We talked about AMD as a potential head and shoulder, and honestly, guys, it's still a potential head and shoulder, but with today's 5.3% green day, we might break out of the neckline. We see a neckline, the neckline coming up here at 95.50, which is where we got rejected for the left shoulder. So I think if 95.50 can break, that is where we're going to see a move, probably back up to that resistance where the head is, right around $98. And if that breaks, oh man, watch out for $100, because AMD, I think, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, guys, I think if 98 breaks, AMD is going straight to $100 plus. So watch out. What's it going to do here? Don't get caught, because if we get rejected at 55, or not 55, 95, 96, and we start to dump off, that could very well be the right shoulder trying to complete, and we could be back at 88, $90 in no time. But again, if we break 95, 96, I think there's a lot more upside coming in AMD. And shout out to the clean energy stocks, the EV stocks in general. They went bananas today, guys. Plug Energy, did you expect this? Or Plug Power, did you expect this? I sure didn't. It went up 35% today, up almost $12 as of right now. And by no means am I chasing the stock here. The best entry point looking back now would have been right around $31, $32, right around this dip on this 180 SMA 4-hour chart. But obviously we missed that. It's not trading at 32 anymore. It's trading at $47 plus. So at this point, these are ones worth watching, no doubt about it, with Joe Biden as the president. Clean energy, EVs, all of these are worth watching, but I'd love to see a dip here on Plug Power before entering, right? And quite honestly, I'd love to see a pretty big dip at that, and I'm not sure if we will. I mean, we might see a dip maybe to 45, maybe 42, maybe even $40. And at that point, I would consider a position. But here, guys, I'm not FOMOing into it. It's kind of similar like that, similar to the previous one we talked about earlier, Workhorse, right? Which I'm not FOMOing. Well, I'm already in it. But if you're not in it, I wouldn't FOMO into it. And yeah, just wait for a pull down. Maybe again, 40, 42, 43, maybe even 38. And in a perfect world, I would like to see it at about $38, maybe 37, but I'm not sure if we are going to see that. But watch out in general for the momentum here in the EVs and clean energy. You know, Tesla is another one, which, guys, this thing is unstoppable. Up another 8% today, up $60 a share. And you guys know me, I'm not a Tesla bear, I'm not a Tesla hater, I'm not shorting Tesla stock, but I'll be honest with you guys, I'm honest here, I don't sugarcoat things. This is pretty overbought. I'll be the first to tell you. I mean, this chart is very overbought. I mean, I've been saying it's overbought since 700, and I guess I'm the fool because it's gone up another 120 since that point. I could have made a lot of money if I traded Tesla, but I for sure am not getting in here. Honestly, I think, again, this is pretty overbought, but overall, there's still money to be made. I think if we pull down a bit, which we probably will, guys. Don't think that every stock, energy, EV stock, clean energy, is going to continue to hit higher highs, higher highs, higher highs every day. We are going to pull down, and when we do, I'll be ready to strike. Again, maybe down to $700, maybe right around this 50 SMA on this 4-hour chart. That could be a pretty decent dip on Tesla, and again, it's unbelievable, man. This went up 8% today. And the funny thing is, guys, a lot of people, myself included, we thought that Tesla was going to pull down after this S&P inclusion announcement and once the official date had passed, but it's gone up and up and up ever since then. And we'll see how it goes down. And again, I am going to be ready. Oop, I just hit my mic there. But I'm going to be ready the second this thing pulls down to probably add some into it. Another one that I'm looking at here is SBE, which is on fire today as well, up 5.7%. This is actually Switchback Energy. They're looking to take ChargePoint public. They're the SPAC that is going to take ChargePoint public. And this is one that didn't rally, although it did go up 6% today. It didn't run as much as some other EV plays, as some other, clean energy oriented plays. So I think this one is interesting, right? We see a potential double top at 41, but we're also uptrending into that potential double top resistance at 41, which is leading me to believe, hey, this is an ascending triangle, right? We ended up holding 39, which was a support from a couple trading days ago. And you guys can see it clearly made a pretty strong move heading into the close today. So I want to see if this continues. Could we go from $40 to 41 and break 41? I think it's possible. And from there, we could be going 43. That could be the next big resistance, right around $43. And if that breaks, oh man, it could be going higher, maybe $48, $49. So watch out for SBE. And the last one here is Walmart, ticker symbol WMT, which is also starting to break out despite it being red today, down literally 1 penny. It is starting to break out of this wedge that it's on, or that it's in, on this 4-hour chart, right? We saw earlier today a pretty big pop pre-market, and yesterday we got a pop. We're still trading under that 180 SMA, which has been resistance here on the 4-hour. And now that I'm looking at this 20-day chart, let me pull it up for you guys. I'm also seeing a bit of inverse head and shoulder action as well here on Walmart, right? You see the left shoulder here. We see the head right here. And hey, this could be the right shoulder starting to form. And for it to complete, what do you think is going to happen? Well, it's going to have to break out of this point and start to head back to the 150s plus. That, again, would be the completion of this right shoulder in the inverse head and shoulders. So watch out for Walmart, guys. I'm serious. If that breaks, there could be a lot of upside here, and you could see it could even go higher than 150, 155, and maybe even a 157 plus. So that's it for the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all found value. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to join the Discord chat and the Facebook group, and get yourself 4 stocks from WeBull and $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below in the description box. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, you guys are awesome. If you stayed till the end, I really appreciate you all. I'll catch you in the next video. Again, thanks for watching. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out.